Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Today is a very exciting day. It happened quicker than I thought. I just finished episode 53, and in 53 I talked about my purchase that I had just made yesterday of the Brutfuner 520s. And here, as you can see, is a tray of Brutfuners. These are the student grade 520s. They come in a big box with two drawers. Here is the bottom drawer. I have used most of mine, well, I shouldn't say most of them. I have used all of the browns, blacks, grays, purples to aqua on my walls. I've done a video or two. I will probably put them, I'll put the links in the description to the videos where I was building my decor for my crafts area. So I have 3 trays left of the browns, and two trays of browns, 2 trays of greens, and I have places designated for these. I am actually definitely using these wonderful clear cases to put them on the wall. I only have 2 shelves though, and I have 4 trays left. So beyond that, I have a bunch more in the yellow, orange to red that I am not going to use. So I will be able to do some comparisons to the Flower Box 520 set, which everyone says is a more artist grade, but not light fast set than this set. So I am going to get that box up. I just wanted to show you that I indeed have already 1 set of these fine Brutfuners. And episode 53 was my detailed walkthrough of the Brutfuner squares, which I have owned for quite some time. I actually broke out my backup set and have some things to say about that, as well as all of the tests, color combos, swatches, comparing barrels and cores, as well as some projects that I finished. So I am going to get out my knife so I can get this box open. So I'm expecting 2 boxes. It even says set includes 2 parts. Please don't separate. And we will see if I can actually zoom out here on my camera. That's as far out as I can go without raising up the tripod. So let's see if we can get these open and out of the box. This box is very large. If you're curious, it's not that heavy to me, but it is 15 inches long, 11 inches wide, 10 inches tall. I actually can. Here, I'll put it on my scale. We're going to do a hold. I'm going to move it here so you guys can actually get the shipping weight. Oh, it's heavier than I thought. It is 7, oh, here, that's ounces. Let's change the unit. 10 pounds, 15.9 ounces. So 16 ounces to a pound, just about 11 pounds. All right, so that's the official weight. It is very well protected with a nice big piece of styrofoam. Now, if you've followed my channel for long, last summer I bought the Brutfuner 180s from Temu, and they shipped in a bag. I bought some other things, and everything was thrown in the bag with 0 protection. So the second time around, I bought the 180s again. These were the black barrels. This time I bought the Color 180s that are the exact same pencils, just branded different, and they came protected in a box, just like this one. So I don't really know why the Brutfuners weren't as protected as this one is protected. So here's one of the boxes, and it has the nice handle. And I was all prepared. Now, I've already owned the 520s for quite some time. And so I was expecting these to be way bigger. And I don't feel that they're any bigger than my... If you combine these two flower boxes, they are very similar to one of the drawer. I like the drawer system, actually, better than the flower boxes. But I understand why they did it, because they wanted to be able to sell the individual flower boxes. So now I'm going to take and set one of these drawers on top. And indeed, the under the flower box is bigger. Let's do it this way so you can see that the flower box is like another 2 inches. Of course, this is folded over, so that is just cardboard. So I would say it's only maybe this much, 1 inch, and then depth wise it's maybe 1/2 inch. Height wise it is quite a bit taller. So let's see what's inside. I am very curious. I have so many things going on today, and I stared at this box all last night, so wanting to open it, but I know that the daytime light is way better for my camera. I was also watching Willy Wonka, again to date myself. I had to rewatch the Johnny Depp version of Willy Wonka, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've got the original one I pretty much memorized. So I have never watched the Johnny Depp one. So that was good, and then I had to watch the new one. And I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to spoil it, but it was very good. All right, so let's see what we've got in here. The other thing I grabbed from the other set box was, here is the swatch sheet that comes, it's vertically aligned, and this is what comes with the student grade, and this comes with just this one square, and perhaps this is to the size for 260, and then the other box I bet has its own sheet. And look at how different the sheets are. This sheet for the student grade is 4 pages long, and then what they did for the flower box version is make everything much smaller, and they have a little guide here, color and color name. Of course, you're never going to be able to fit the color names in this little tiny space, so it's going to have to be numbers. My plans for this set of pencils is to do more than one detailed walkthrough, because the first thing that I intend to do is put these in a database. I am an Excel guru and can write macros and different things, so I know that there is this very faint number of all things. It says 333, and I can tell by the bright line. I'm going to be marking all of those with white or black so I can read it, and I will be entering every bit of information about these pencils in a database, and then I'm going to do some different sorting and things. What I'm curious about, that in the other videos I've seen, there's the newest video that I've seen is actually done either in Excel or some, maybe Access, something like that. And what she did is she broke them all down into her own color families, but I'm going to just put them in exactly like I see all the data, and then I'm going to do some sorting to see if perhaps they're in color family order, because her database criteria, and when she was resorting in her tool, whatever tool she's using, I did not see that these numbers meant anything, and so I'm very curious about that. So since I have had these on my wish list for at least 2 years, and I just thought it was time. I have some money, I budget. I have 2 businesses, and so everything gets budgeted and worked around, and so there was enough money for me to pull. As I already said in the other video, this will probably be my entire haul for the month, if not 2 months maybe. It just really depends on how active I am and how my coloring group activity is as to how long this will have to be my haul. I am a person who loves to budget and manage money. It's a fun thing for me. I know a lot of people don't like it. And so it was great when I was able to move some things around to make this fit. I actually had not anticipated getting these quite this soon, but it was getting close to when I had said I was going to be getting these. I think it was really the episode 53, doing all of the things I do for a detailed walkthrough with the squares, made me decide to do some researching of how many new videos had been created for this set, and there were quite a few new ones with new information, and then all of that came together to convince me to get them. All right, so I've got lipstick red, and I am going to go over to the 520 box, the student grade one, and look for a red. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm not even going to pull out. I know that you've already seen pulling out of these trays and looking at them and oohing and awing. I haven't said in this video, I do have a case on order. It's going to take a while to get here. So I will have all sorts of things that I can do with these in the meantime. And I thought it would be fun to just make this a little more interesting by finding a closest red. Okay, here's what I got. Look what I found. The very first tray of reds. I have 333. Oh, I'm going to have to pause to go turn that off. I do not know that these are the same color or not. All right, I am back. Again, I pulled out the very first, the number looked at me saying 333. As far as I know, the numbers do not correspond between the two sets, but because 333 happened to be here, and this is the tray that I was pulling, it was the top one. So I just grabbed this one here. And again, I am not even going to be using for my walls the yellow, red, orange set. I am actually pulling this tray because there are some darker ones, and I'm seeing, I just thought I would do two. I'm going to pull this darker red. These are pretty well, that's pretty darn close. So we'll just try both of these just to see if either of them are close to the higher end ones. So first, let's go ahead and do a comparison of the cores. Here's the front view of the cores. Definitely the one on the left, which is the student grade, is smaller. Even its diameter is smaller. And then on the back here, you can also see that not only is the wood bigger, but the core is also larger. And I actually see this red one is a little bit off center as well. I do have my calipers handy to check the diameter of the two. Now, here's how I understand it. I don't own a set of these, so I can only speculate. People are saying that there is a smaller bunch of sets of the Brutfuners that are these same look with just the number and the Brutfuner, and they are really reasonable. They are, in theory, they are like the squares. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. And they're as small as a 72 set. And I believe I saw the 72s that have this same setup without a name, open-ended, looks just like this. And those are on sale right now for $9.99. And I'm always on the hunt for 72s for coloring group members. And I think down the road, I'm going to be playing with some of these from the colors. This is the student grade ones, just to see what I think. And then it's possible I will get a set to have on hand of the 72 size for the group members, the coloring group members that are wanting smaller sets. I've got enough of the Brutfuners and the 120s that if they could try the squares or the black barrels colors, which are the same. So I am starting with the 305. And this is actually the back side. This is the smooth side. This is the rough. I just grabbed a piece and cut it off so that it's somewhat clean. So this is 305. It just happened to be the one in my hand. And then this will be the, we'll do 333F, the flower version. Okay, so that's, oh, it's not 305, it's 395. 395. All right, so now we've got 333. This is the one that's not quite as centered. They feel, if I'm trying to judge after using the squares for the last week and a half, they're not as crayon-like as the black barrels, but they might not be quite as smooth and creamy as the squares that I have been using. I've sadly put them all away last night. I should have left them out. Okay, so there's 333, and now we have the test. Is this, and notice this is sharpened and then not to a point. And I am going to, I know that they say that they're 3.8. I'm going to grab, this is supposedly a 3.8 as well. Let's grab one that's burgundy. These are the black barrel. And let's just give it a look and see if by eye we can tell whether they are the same size. I am going to say, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that the right-hand side, which is the flower box Brutfuners, is actually a tiny bit smaller. But now I'm going to look, yeah, so I'm looking directly not through the lens anymore. And the left black barrel I have measured with the calipers at 3.8, and I know that on the website they claim that these are a 3.8 as well, but I'm going to say absolutely not. No, they are not that large. So now, if I take my calipers and in the light try to measure that diameter on the back, it is, I'm going to say 3.45-ish. And I know this probably varies a little bit, but if I go up to 3.8, which is the width they're supposed to be, I see some, I'm going to tilt it. There's too much wood. They're not quite 3.8. So now I'm going down to 3.5, and I actually think that that is what the diameter of the core is. I do feel, holding this, that the diameter of the left one, which is the flower box, is definitely chunkier than the black barrel and absolutely chunkier than the student grade 520. So let's just confirm what we already know. We'll get a measurement. So this is, I'm pushing hard to get 7.46, so I am going to say, if I just let it go, it's about 7.45 to 7.5. Black barrel, 7.09. And 7.3. These are pretty, these are not a small diameter, not a svelte pencil. And then what I want to prove here is, so this is 7.16. This is one of the 520 students. 7.05. So just that's just to prove to everyone that the variations of these diameter can vary quite a bit, probably between the machining of the wood and then the painting. Now comes the big thing. Is the 333 the same color as the 33F? I think that this particular one, I'm going to turn on my light All three of those are really close. But let's turn on a little light. I see some crumbs. I think the crumbs were from this particular one. 395. So 395 seems to have a little more of a brownish tint, just a tiny bit. 333 in the middle seems to have a little bit more red, but the two 333s are awfully close. So a job that I did many moons ago, we're talking 30 years ago, I worked in the lighting engineering department at an aerospace company, and I had a spectrometer that I would use that would tell me color and brightness, all sorts of fun things. So this right here is the student grade square, and this is the, oh, sorry. Yeah, I just did that wrong, didn't I? I'm going to start all over because now I've got the numbers confused. I have not touched this one. So let's put a big X through this because this was actually this one. That's why they're identical. All right. We're going to do the flower. And I have confirmed that this is the flower red. And I'm going to turn, well, I'll leave the light on because I think we're going to need the light. These feel very similar to the student grade ones. Okay, so this is definitely the 333 flower box. Now I'm going to grab 333 and right next to it, as close to it as I can get. I am thinking they're a tiny bit different, but not by much. This looks a teeny bit more red to me, and it does even up here. And this looks a tiny bit more brown. I don't know. What do you guys think? I will, there are definitely some crumbs going on. I'm just trying to trick myself into looking at these three versions of the 333. These are very quiet, not scratchy at all. They are very close. So I'll have to do some testing. I won't be able to test the whole set colors against each other, but I do have the red, orange, yellow. Maybe that will help me determine once and for all if these two sets are the same colors. So that is all I'm going to share with you today. Again, this is episode 54. It's now in the books, and it is a quick unboxing and a review between the two Brutfuner 520 sets. And no, I do not plan on getting the color. What I have seen, the student version of the Brutfuner 520s, there are some issues in quality, and the color seems unanimous that when comparing it to the Brutfuner higher grade ones, that the colors have some issues as well. So I'm going to just stick with these two. I have purposes for the one set and plans for the nicer set for myself to use in various projects coming up. And so far, these do look like the 333s are the same between the two sets. So I'm probably going to do a little more investigation into that. I don't know whether I'll do all the database data entry first, because I have to go through all of these trays and get everything entered. I'll probably do the data entry first. That makes sense, because then if I add an entry for is there a match or not in the student grade, I can just make a note of that in a field, in a cell of Excel. But so far these feel great, and I am not disappointed at all. Again, I've done lots of videos, so I knew what I was in for and what these would look like, and that there would be these little numbers that you can't hardly read. And again, I plan on making those legible with, I've got acrylic white paint, I have Sharpie markers, a variety of ways that I can make these indented numbers legible. So let me know your thoughts. Again, I'm growing my channel, so be sure to do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, subscribe. All of those things would be great and much appreciated. See you on the next one, and thanks for watching.